Hi, John Seiler here, and I'm over at the Veterans Administration Hospital in Long Beach. Drove up here earlier today from Irvine, and I left Ollie at home. You're not supposed to have dogs here unless they're in the canine corps. So he wanted to join the Army, but he's too young. He's only 14, so maybe in a couple of years. Anyway, I just thought I'd drive around here a little bit and talk about the VA, which I've been using for a number of years now. And if you can see it in the background, I'm parking right here. And I have been going to the VA a number of years now, and I like it. It's quite good. They have good things. And I use it as a supplement for Medicare, because my main one is Medicare. I'm 70 years old and have good doctors that I've assembled over the years. And the VA just helps me with a couple things. Like I have one of those CPAP machines. I get it with them. And they have other things that I get through the VA. And yeah, you can see in the background a little bit here the buildings. They've done a lot of construction in recent years, starting after 2014. Remember, might remember the big scandal that year. You know, a lot of veterans were damaged. I think some died because they just got bad care, especially in Arizona. And so that was under Obama, and then Trump added a lot more when he was president the first time, and then Biden continued it, and now Trump again. You know, in the thumbnail at the beginning that you see for the video, it's a picture I took of Trump and Vance and the Secretary of Veterans Affairs in the lobby here where I was going. You can see in the background some of the buildings pretty well here. It's quite a big complex, and they do all kinds of care here. I know veterans who were not lifers. They weren't in the whole time, but they get most of their or all of their care at VA, and they like it. And I should say one thing is, you know, Bernie Sanders, he's always talking. We need to have socialized medicine. We're the only industrialized country that doesn't take care of everybody with the comprehensive medical care. Of course, in Europe now, their economies are collapsing. Germany, France, England, they've all been mismanaged by a bunch of idiots. And so that's not a good thing. But also, Bernie was the chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee in the Senate in 2014 when the whole thing had the big scandal. So he was in charge of it, basically. And let me get around this car here. Well, if I got in an accident here, they'd take care of me. But I think we'll avoid that. Anyway, you're around the complex here. But he managed a socialized medical system, the VA, into the ground, and it had to be fixed. So much for that. Now, why does the VA work pretty well? In fact, quite well. I know some people have had operations here that went really well. They were happy with it, and any hospital system can have problems. But it's because in America we have two systems. That's why it costs twice as much. We have the private one, which has competition and sort of competition, and of course we have all the subsidies for the medical companies, the big pharma, the pharmacy people, the big hospital, big everything. Even so, you can choose your own doctor. You can, if you don't like somebody, you can do it. You can get another one. And if you have Medicare, you know, you have different ones. You can pay extra for this, for that. Every month you still pay taxes for it. And there's a big parking lot here in the back where the employees park. And so we still have choices in America, whereas if in Canada there's very limited choice for anything, and they have long lines for everything. Whenever I had problems, like I had diverticulitis 15 years ago, that was no fun. But anyway, I checked into Hoag Hospital emergency. They took care of me right away. And other friends of mine, they've had other problems, and they check in and they take care of you right away. And it does cost a lot of money, of course, but at least we get the care, at least for now. Who knows about the future? And so that's the one. And then the other one is the government parts, the socialized parts, beginning with the VA. And then the military has their own different ones. The military itself, like the U.S. Army, when I was in, we had Army, and then the Navy has theirs, which also for the Marine Corps, which is part of the Navy Department. And if you go in California here, you drive down the freeway to San Diego on the west side, is you have Camp Pendleton, but then just south of that, you also have a big naval hospital there. And because you go further down, and the Navy has a big base in San Diego, gigantic base there. And they also have the Miramar place where they filmed Top Gun, the first one, but I think they closed that. It's not there anymore for the Top Gun people. They go somewhere else. And anyway, let's drive around here a little bit. This is a big place. And one thing about the VA is you have limited choice for your doctor, because I've had really good doctors, and got all three of them women actually, but one of them retired. And she was an immigrant from Myanmar, used to be called Burma, and she retired. Then I got another one who was a young Vietnamese doctor. She was born here, but her family was Vietnamese, and she had a couple babies, was gone for a while. I liked her a lot. She took pregnancy leave, then came back, and then recently she left. I'm not sure where she is now. Maybe in private practice. It might be easier for raising kids. But then I have a current one who's a really nice and good doctor too, that I just started with a few months ago. But and if you don't like a doctor, you can change it for whatever reason. But the choice is, of course, among the other VA doctors. But like I said, they're good doctors. I'm happy with them, and also. They have prescription drugs. Of course, it's $8 a month for whatever you have. On my Medicare program, I have most of the medications are zero, so I use that. But over the years, I've had other medical programs. Before I was in Medicare, I had different, with the Orange County Register, had one, and then I was with the California Senate. That was a really good program. Government people take care of themselves, let me tell you. And anyway, sometimes I've used the VA, and I still do for a couple medications, $8 a month, which is really good from the VA. Thank you, taxpayers. And just driving around here, they for several years they had a lot of construction, but it seems to be finished. And one of the things you see when you come here to the VA. And this is an open campus. You can come here as a civilian and look around, maybe bring a veteran over to do something, an older veteran. The only time they checked things was during COVID, when everything was crazy everywhere, of course. You had to wear the mask, you had to show your VA benefits card. But now you just walk in, it's just like it was before. And this one is here called Marine Way, and the other one is, the cross street is Navy Way. Well, where's Army Way? I was in the Army. And anyway, so what was I saying about, anyway, the VA medications, $8 a month cost for them, and the VA here, excuse me, I want to make sure I drive the right way. They take care of you pretty well. And also, if they don't have a specialist, this has happened to me a couple of times, if they're shorthanded or something, they hire the private sector people to come in. I had a good podiatrist a couple of years ago. They were shorthanded, and then so I saw him, saw the regular one, and then the regular one came in, a Latina doctor who I really liked, gave me some advice about, because I weighed a lot more then, and had diabetes, which recently went away. My A1C went from 6.4, recently it was 5.6, which is below the threshold. And supposedly you can't get rid of it, but apparently I did. So I'm coming here to the main area again. Anyway, So this lady, Dr. Latina, she just gave me some really good advice on doing the low carb thing, which I've been doing and I knew about, but it was just good encouragement because I had these kind of, excuse me, I don't like to talk about medical stuff, but I'm going to, this kind of tingling feeling in my lower extremities in my feet. And she said, you go on the low carb, that might go away, and it did. And then I lost a lot more weight too because of it. So, and by the way, don't take medical advice from an editorial writer. I'm just talking about what happened. And so the VA's been pretty good. Oh, the one thing I was going to mention is when you come here, sometimes, or actually every time, you'll see guys in wheelchairs, sometimes with no legs, or maybe their spinal cord was snapped, and they're probably the victims from all the wars. Or one time I saw a guy he was on one of those stretcher things, and he was quadriplegic. And it's possible the people you see, maybe they have civilian injuries that they got, or they just got old and had to be in a wheelchair. But if you have no legs, probably they were taken out by one of those IEDs over in Iraq or Afghanistan, improvised explosive devices. And what I worry about here now, every time I come over lately, is Trump starting a new war, and we'll have more guys coming here. Have guys being killed, and young ladies too, because a lot of women are in the military. And he's threatening some kind of attack on Venezuela. So I hope we don't have more victims over here. And in fact, we just had go ahead, a couple of people crossing the street there. We just had 3 Americans killed in Syria. Two were troops, and one was a civilian, and also others who were injured. The injured will be part of the VA system getting fixed for who knows how long, maybe the rest of their lives. So that's the big reason I supported Trump 6 times, 3 primaries and 3 general elections, was because to stop all these wars, so we don't have people coming to the VA except just for being back in civilian life and getting old and so on. So I hope that's not the case. Going a little bit slow here. Yeah, I hope that's not the case, and we don't have the wars like he promised. In all 3 of his elections, no more regime change wars. Remember that? And so far, well, except for the 3 killed in Syria, we don't have any others. If we had a couple hundred body bags coming home, well, coming home filled, that wouldn't be good for Trump or for the country. So we have to give him credit at least on that so far, and we'll see how it turns out further. But I just don't want to see that over here. More Americans who are wounded, more Americans killed in these senseless wars. And in Syria, of course, he promised to get us out the first time, and he ordered his generals to get out of there, and they disobeyed him. And then he was involved in all those other things. Not his fault. The Russiagate nonsense, which was a lie. I said it was a lie from the beginning. It proved it. This was in 2016. You read my stuff online. I said the Russiagate was a lie from the beginning. And it's certainly been proved since then, and Congress is releasing some stuff showing that in fact was the case. And then in 2020, he lost, but the promise again was to get us out of these stupid wars. And we had Biden, who had the troops killed in Afghanistan pulling out. Trump had arranged that, but when Trump arranged it, it was supposed to be during the winter to get all our troops out, because at that time the tribes have been there. The Taliban, they were back in their mountain hideouts or wherever they live. But in the summer, they come down, start fighting everybody. So Biden withdrew our troops in the summer when they're all fighting, when they were fighting us, which was really stupid. But anyway, we got out of Afghanistan at least, But we still have troops in Iraq after how many years now? 22 years. We have troops in Syria. Trump, again, he should have pulled them out. This time he knew what was going on. The generals were going to stab him in the back, but he hasn't done that, at least not yet. And he's saying, well, we need to have peace there first. And this is the first time we have peace there in thousands of years, supposedly, which is not true. But we'll see what he does. Anyway, I'm going to be leaving the VA here in a minute. Thought I'd give you an update on your VA, because it's your VA. You support us, the veterans. Thank you. I appreciate it. With your tax dollars. And let's hope things go better for having so many wounded veterans. So I'll be driving home soon and put this up in a couple hours, I guess. So here we are back in beautiful downtown Long Beach, California. Okay, everybody have a great day.